I can understand the profile or the role that all of you are playing in your respective professional careers. That whether you are working as an administrator or a developer, that will be great. So that I can the provide more details with respect to your role. So, all of you, can you just tell me, do you have any professional experience working on managing the Windows servers or the VMware or any exposure to cloud, any of the cloud providers? Can some of you just brief me about
Yeah, Mangesh. So
your
let me start with means from Rajesh. Can you go ahead and just give your background of VMware, whatever you are like working? Okay. So Anand, can you just give your like what are the technology you are familiar to understand the Azure admin?
Basically, I have knowledge with Wintel and have knowledge with Azure also. Work with Azure administrator with my current firm. So looking forward for the more knowledge so that we will get more knowledge and we can have a good
Mhm,
uh, knowledge across technology over
mhm.
there. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Anand, for sharing your the details about your role. So yes, so if you know about the basics of the managing the Windows servers and the basics of networking, I think this is the prerequisites for you to start learning about Microsoft Azure, and we'll be starting with the fundamentals. So even if you are not aware about what is Microsoft Azure or what are the different the services that Microsoft Azure is fine because we'll be covering all of them in detail. So here, if you see, by end of this live hands-on online course, you'll understand the core areas and focus of AZ 104 certification exam. So Azure provides different certification paths. So let me go to the next slide. I'll explain that and then I'll come to this slide. So
Sandeep, Sarin here.
Sandeep, sorry for being late. Rajesh here.
Yeah, Rajesh, go ahead.
Yeah, you wanted me to explain about the VMware.
No, just for you are familiar with this like basic server understanding or not, because for like getting knowledge for Azure you should have a familiar with this server understanding like VMware, Wintel and all the stuff. So that's what
Yes.
Mangesh was expecting from everyone who are like join
yeah,
this course.
just the basics. So
Yeah, so just for basic.
uh, yeah. Even if you know the basics of what is the virtual machine, what is network, what is storage, that is sufficient. Or if you worked on any of the basic troubleshooting activities in the Wintel domain, that is sufficient. So I'm explaining you about different Microsoft Azure certification path. So if you comes with the background of the Windows administrator or the VMware stuff, you can target, you can do the Azure fundamentals course or the certification, and then you can proceed with AZ 104, which is Microsoft certified Azure administrator associate. So we'll be covering this administrator associate in this particular training, as well as so I'll be covering the Azure fundamentals part also. So this particular course I'll be covering both the certifications like AZ 900 and AZ 104. And along with that, I'm not a like the professional trainer. So I'm a professional, working in the MNC organization, for last 6 7 years. I'm working end to end for the Azure. So I have experience on the solution architecting, designing of various Azure solutions. So at the end of the course, I can, or in between the course when we are covering all the topics, I can give you the architecture point of view, how you can design the services. So along with this administrator stuff, I'll also covering the design point of view, how you can design, or how you can follow certain best practices for all of the services. So after end of the course, you'll be confident to enroll and appear for this AZ 900 and AZ 104 certifications. I think end of the session we can also cover certain questionnaires that are present in this particular these certificates like AZ 104, and we'll be briefing you about how you can answer, or how you can correlate the different questions. So and after you completing the course, this is that 104, you can proceed with the architect, or this particular path. So once you have gained knowledge on the administrator part, you can proceed with Azure Architect Technologies, which is AZ 300, and now it is upgraded to AZ 303, and the AZ 301 and 304, which is designing part. So at the end of the course, you'll be confident enough to start preparing for this architect, or the designing of Azure solutions. So these are the different paths if it comes with the administrator background. So AZ 104, AZ 300 and 303, and AZ 304, and then you will get this particular batch from Microsoft, which is Azure Solutions Architect. But if you comes with the Azure development background, then AZ 900, which is fundamentals. Anyway, we'll be covering in this particular course. Once you aware about all the different Azure services, you can appear for the developing solutions for Microsoft Azure. So if you are currently in your company or organization having development experience on Java, .NET, ASP, or the creating the web services, then you have the prerequisites to understand the admin stuff. What are the different Azure services, how to implement, how do we connect, how do we design. So once you know this part, then only you can start the studying for this developing solutions for Microsoft Azure. And along with the admin part and the solutioning part, you also, if you are planning for career in or working in the latest technologies, or if you want to groom your career, because currently the DevOps is very much in demand in market. So I also have the working experience, and currently I am a DevOps lead in my current organization. So at the end of completing the course, you can also appear for this DevOps engineer expert. I am also covering and taking the course on DevOps, which is a separate course. And there I'll be explaining you about how to create a build and release pipelines, how you can deploy your applications
Yeah,
onto
that,
different Azure services.
sorry to interrupt you, Mangesh. So guys, Mangesh will be covering Azure Admin and Azure DevOps. Both will be taken care by Mangesh in KTS skill. Okay. So just for update,
Yeah.
I'm sharing this. Okay, go ahead, Mangesh.
Yes. Yes, so currently all the company and all the organizations, they are adopting the DevOps and Agile methodology. So earlier days, when I started my career, there used to be operations person who takes care of all the operational works, like maintaining the servers, the creating the virtual machines, configuring the virtual machines, creating the applications, configuring the IS and all different sorts. And there used to be a developer who will develop application, and they will hand over that application to us, or the developers will independently deploy their application. So there were silos before, and that caused a lot of the miscommunication, and the project used to get delayed. So with the introduction, or the adoption of these DevOps tool sets, there is requirement for a DevOps professional who will play both roles. From the the deployment point of view, he will play a role to configure all the infrastructure, as well as deploy the application. So currently in the market, even if you are administrator, we need to know the automation concepts. Like you need to be the expertise, have the expertise in developing the PowerShell scripts, developing the bash scripts, or creating the pipelines with pipeline as a code, or you also need to know about the Docker and containers. So we'll be covering in detail all these topics in the DevOps engineer expert. But this Azure administrator course, I will also give you the introduction to DevOps. So from the admin point of view, what are the different activities that are related to DevOps. But in detail, everything will be covered in our DevOps engineer expert course. So after and the end of the completion of this AZ 400, you will be confident to appear for this AZ 400 certification. And our course is aligned with all the hands-on labs. So let me go back to the previous slide. Yeah. So if you, as you can see, by end of this live hands-on online course, you'll understand the core areas and focus of AZ104 certification exam. Sorry. And then, as I said, the prerequisites for appearing for the AZ 104, that is not a prerequisites. You can directly apply for this AZ 104 certification, but you need to have the knowledge of fundamentals of Azure cloud computing. So I'll be covering. I have combined these fundamentals as well as Azure 104. The course curriculum in this particular Azure Administrator course, and then. You'll also understand how to manage and configure the virtual networks. So these are the pillars of the Azure cloud infrastructure. So the pillars of the important services are virtual network, VMs, storage, and the identities. So we will understand in detail how you can create, implement, and how you will configure and manage all those services in Azure. Then in the last, once we completed all the modules, we will take certain practice tests, or we will explain you certain common questionnaires, the type of questions that are coming to the this is a 104 certification exam, and we will explain the answers of that. So that will be give you the confidence that what sort of questions, what are the types of questions. Like, there will be case studies, there will be the emulated labs. So it's not only the objective type questions, but there are certain labs that you need to create according to the ask in the question. And you will be able to prepare and practice. So as I said, once we complete, cover all those topics, you should be able to prepare and practice for the AZ 104. And as I explained in my this particular slide, so once you complete this particular part, Azure 104, and once you have become Azure administrator, you will have the confidence to move, or proceed to the next role, which is architect and the design. So this is the prerequisite for the moving towards architecting the solution in Azure. We'll move to the any doubts or questions so far, or can I move to next slide?
Guys, do you have any questions?
Sandeep, Sarin here.
Yes,
Mandeep.
go
Mhm.
ahead, Sarin.
See, how many days class will be there for to complete one AZ104?
Yes. So this is, we have total, I think, 10 to 11 modules, and we also have the hands-on labs. So in a day, I think we can cover, two modules. So we need the 6 days, or, 6 weekends of 4 hours. So, first 2 to 3 hours we'll be doing the theoretical, and, I'll be explaining how to create the labs and everything. And the next 1 hour, you will be creating your labs and you'll be continuing. So in case of any doubts or questions, you will be reaching out to me. So you can think about 6 sessions into 4, so close to 30 hours, additional 6 hours. So 30 hours is required for completing this as a 104, because I'll be covering the fundamentals part as well. That's why you will need some more time.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Same for that architect also, right?
Architect, that will take more time. So here there will be scenario based questions, scenario based the designs that we need to create. But yes, once a person is confident on Azure administrator, this the once you reach to the intermediate, or the advanced level, I think this should not take much time, but you can consider at least same time, same duration as the administrator.
How about the openings? Like, see, we are into Windows and VMware,
Yeah.
so we are completely coming to a new profile.
Yeah.
So if you are with around 10 plus years of experience, and right now we coming to a new technology, how
Hmm.
how you see the opportunity for us?
Yes, definitely. So, every all the organization, if you see, because of this COVID-19 scenario, all the companies, who is having the on-premises infrastructure, due to, lockdown and complete the shutdown of, all the offices. If you see or if you monitor, because, in day and out, I'm working on Azure. So, I can see the increase in demand for the Azure services. So, we got a mail from Azure saying that there is a capacity bottleneck that they're having, because too many companies and too many the business units are asking for more services. They are planning and migrating their services from on-premises like VMware and the IBM cloud to Azure, or just the consider Azure, or any other cloud provider like AWS. So there is a huge demand for Azure, and all the companies, you slowly will find that they are shifting to Azure because of the popularity, ease of service. You can implement, or the deploy your services in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, and it's a pay as you go. So you don't need to do any capital expenditure. It is all the operational expenses that you need to pay. So there is a huge demand, and if you comes with the 10 years of experience, working on the legacy, or the on-premises technologies, you already aware about the networking, the Windows administrator, or the application deployment, how to size, or